A rich girl slipped and fell off the cross-sea bridge. I was quick to grab her collar and pull her up. But when she got back, she took me to court. Because when I pulled her up, I also lifted up her clothes, revealing her big white breasts. He's a poor boy, isn't he, just trying to take advantage of the situation? I've read too many novels about saving a young lady and becoming her son-in-law, and now I'm thinking of this. But at that time, my mind was full of saving people, so I didn't have time to care about that. No matter how I explain it, public opinion just doesn't believe it. My startup lost all its market value overnight. With no other options left, I jumped from the rooftop of the company. When I opened my eyes again, the rich girl was holding onto the railing and ordered me to save her. I laughed and joked. "Young lady, you have so much leisure time that you want to play on the swing on the cross-sea bridge." 1. Song Yinbin, why are you still standing there? Can't you see I'm about to fall? Shen Qiutong held on tightly to the truss of the cross-sea bridge, his arms trembling slightly, and he was about to collapse. In my previous life, I grabbed her collar and pulled her up without saying a word. Although she didn't say a word of thanks after being rescued, I didn't ask for anything in return and just thought of it as a good deed. But I didn't expect Shen Qiutong to sue me for molestation and attempted rape when she returned. Public opinion was also misled by her exaggeration, and they repeatedly commented on the video of me saving people. He could have grabbed her hand and pulled her up in this situation, but he chose to lift her collar. Wasn't that intentional? That's right, just pull it up with one hand, and add another hand to grab her clothes, otherwise her waist won't be exposed at all. Stinky man, I can tell what he wants to do at a glance. No matter how I explained, no one believed me, and it ended up implicating my partner and fiancé. In desperation, he could only jump off the building to prove his innocence. Song Yinbin. Didn't you hear what I said? Hurry up and pull me up. Shen Qiutong's voice has begun to tremble. She and I were college classmates, and she had always been the campus beauty. Later, due to some coincidences, I had to get in touch with her. But she never looked at me straight in the eye. There are too many men vying to be her lapdogs, and in her eyes, a self-made science and engineering guy like me is the least valuable lapdog. Out of politeness, I always kept my distance from her. Seeing that I just looked at her without doing anything, she became a little anxious. Song Yinbin. What do you want to do? Are you going to use this opportunity to blackmail me into agreeing to your proposal? Don't even think about it. Oh. I turned and left. Song Yinbin. Shen Qiutong's tears suddenly flowed down, and her desire to survive forced her to let go. I agree. I agree to your proposal, okay. Quickly pull Miss Ben up. Her arms were shaking even more violently. I turned around and frowned. Who proposed to you? Her breath hitched. I am proposing, but the object has never been you, okay? I already had a sweetheart, and for some unavoidable reasons I had to maintain a good relationship with her. I didn't expect that the gifts I prepared for my sweetheart were seen by her several times, and she misunderstood them all as dog-licking packages for her. I still remember her words. You want to win over a rich girl with these cheap things? You are really a poor boy. After saying that, he crushed all the gifts I prepared for my sweetheart and fed them to the dogs. In the past, I followed the principle that less trouble is worse than more, and I endured it as much as I could. But now I don't want to endure it anymore. Since she thinks so little of me and even my good intentions to help her are interpreted by her as malicious, I might as well respect the fate of others and enjoy my immoral life. Song Yinbin. With a scream, she finally lost her grip on the truss and fell violently. Ah. 2. White waves rose on the sea. I stood on the bridge and looked down, but I didn't see Shen Qiutong. Although there is sea water below, the height has reached a certain level and falling down like this is no different from jumping off a building. Besides, Shen Qiutong can't swim at all. It's hard to say whether it's life or death. I sighed and shook my head, feeling a little regretful. If she could be a little more kind to others, I wouldn't have stood by and watched her die. Although this is not morally correct, there has never been a law that requires you to lend a hand when you see someone in distress. She's courting death. Just as I was about to leave, a familiar figure swam towards her quickly. I thought I was seeing things and quickly took out my telescope. The moment I saw the person swimming past, my breath stopped. Isn't this Song Yuanza? That fake young master who occupied 18 years of my life. 3. I always thought I was an orphan. It was not until I was 18 that I found out that I was the real young master of the Song family who was taken away by mistake. It's just that the timing of learning this news is not good. My biological parents had passed away unexpectedly. All that was left to me was a fake young master who inherited my parents' estate, and my betrothed fiancée, Shen Qiutong. But I obviously have my own sweetheart. For years I have been trying to explain this. However, Shen Qiutong looked down on me very much. Every time I found her and wanted to explain the cancellation of the engagement, she would assume that I was a poor boy trying to please a young lady, and would have someone kick me out after just a few words. I watched through the telescope as Song Yuanza carried the person to the shore in his arms. Shen Qiutong's clothes were all wet and stuck tightly to her body. Some parts were even translucent, and her clothes were pulled up a long way, revealing more parts than in the previous life. But she didn't care at all. She hugged Song Yuanza's neck tightly and pressed her whole body against him. Looking at the shape of lips, it seems to say, "What would I do without you? You saved my life." I am speechless. Clearly, in my previous life, I didn't even have the chance to get her clothes wet. The part that I accidentally exposed to her in her last life was less than 1/3 of what it is now. But she still insisted that I committed molestation and attempted rape. Now that she was leaning against Song Yuanza's arms, she didn't even want to pull her clothes down. I curled my lips and turned away. At least this time, she and I have completely broken off relations. It should be natural to cancel the engagement like this, right? 4. Shen Qiutong's condition is not very good. He fell onto the sea and one of his kidneys was shattered. But I just couldn't find a suitable match. When I arrived at Shen's house, before I could even open my mouth, Shen's mother slapped me in the face. "You bastard. Why didn't you save my daughter when she was in trouble?" Father Shen was also filled with indignation. I was originally a poor boy, far from Yuanza who received aristocratic education since childhood. If it weren't for your deceased parents, we would have changed the engagement to Yuanza long ago. You have received a great favor but you still don't behave well. Do you want me to take over my daughter's inheritance rights after she dies? I'm telling you. Don't even think about it. Even if we die, the inheritance will only be left to my daughter and Yuanza. Song Yuanza was also present, accompanying Shen Qiutong who was sitting in a wheelchair. He glanced at me coldly. "Brother, I know you have no one to educate you since you were a child and your morals are corrupt, but I didn't expect you to do something worse than an animal, like watching someone die without helping him." I touched my burning cheek, stepped forward, and punched him in the face. Everyone exclaimed. "Song Yanbin! What are you doing?" I pointed at Song Yuanza from above. What right does a fake young master who was taken away by mistake have to bark in front of me, the real owner? I have never been educated since I was a child, but at least I won't take away the inheritance from my benefactor. Song Yanbin. Shen Qiutong held my hand tightly, her brows furrowed. "I won't let you lay a hand on him. Kneel down and apologize to him immediately." I looked down at her and frowned. "Who do you think you are? Are you worthy of giving me orders? What did you say?" With Shen Qiutong's appearance and wealth, she has always been pampered by men. How could anyone have ever spoken to her like this? At this moment, he was so angry that his body was shaking when he heard my sarcasm. "You don't want me to marry you anymore, Shen Qiutong." I pushed him away and said, "Listen to me. I never thought of marrying you. The marriage was decided by the previous generation. I never agreed to spend my life with a domineering young lady." As I said this, I turned to look at Mr. and Mrs. Shen and said righteously, "From today on, my engagement with your daughter is annulled and I will give my entire marriage to Song Yuanza, the adopted son of the Song family. I don't want your daughter anymore." Mr. and Mrs. Shen almost lost their balance. Their daughter had always been begged on her knees to marry someone, and this was the first time she was rejected in person. And he is a poor boy. Song Yanbin. Shen Qiutong gnashed his teeth and said, "You are penniless, are you going to go against the Shen and Song families?" I paused. Shen Qiutong thought I was giving in and sneered. "Come back immediately and kneel down to apologize to Yuanza, then I will consider not canceling our engagement. You deserve it. She was stunned. What did you say? I turned my head, looking at him sarcastically. My sweetheart is 1,000 times and 10,000 times better than you. She has been with me from being penniless to where I am today, and she has never looked down on me because I have no money. Who do you think you are to take her place? You. Oh, and my good brother. I looked at Song Yuenza, who was gritting his teeth, and smiled. I will not recover the inheritance. Just think of it as money to buy your way through the underworld. You don't have much time left anyway. Song Yuenza's breathing stagnated. I heard the roar after I walked out the door. Song Yanbin. How dare you curse me? I ignored it and went to the sales office first to buy the Riverview villa that I liked. That was when Yao Yao and I first came to this city. She admired it with envy. Then I returned to the rental house. 5. The rental house is not big, but you can smell the aroma of food as soon as you enter the door. Hearing the sound of me opening the door, the girl with a ponytail poked her head out of the kitchen and threw herself into my arms. You're back. I made a new and delicious dessert today. Seeing some cigarette ash on her delicate face, I wiped it off for her with a distressed look. Thank you for your hard work over the years. What are you talking about? I chose you and I'm not afraid to suffer with you. You will definitely become big and strong in the future. I believe in you. Living in this rental house is inconvenient. I'm sorry to have wronged you. Hello. She tapped my head. What's wrong with you? I told you to just do it without worry. I'm at home. This is a job I took on for myself. How can you feel wronged? I held her little face and rubbed it. It's your birthday in 2 days, I will give you a big gift. Really? Her eyes lit up. Is that the little cake you bought for me last time? I tell you, it was so sweet and delicious. I've remembered it for a long time. I smiled and shook my head. It needs to be bigger. That is. She thought for a moment and said, I know. Hairpin. I took off the faded and loose hairpin in her hair and put on the new one I bought for her, bigger. She opened her eyes wide, touching the hairpin with a look of surprise. After turning around in front of the mirror twice, she shook her head and said, I really don't know. Apart from hairpins and cupcakes, what else could it be? I looked at her with a smile. You'll know in 2 days. Hee hee. She jumped in front of me and looked at me with stars in her almond-shaped eyes. I like whatever you give me. I touched her head and said, as long as it's you, I like it. My phone vibrated, I clicked it and it was Shen Qiutang. Song Yanbin, let us meet. This is the first time she has sent me a message on her own initiative. Or take the initiative to invite. If it was another man, he would probably finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Too bad I never intended to keep her. I blocked the number and went into the kitchen to help. Over the next 2 days, my phone kept receiving calls and text messages from unfamiliar numbers. Since I have so many clients, I sometimes make the wrong calls. Shen Qiutang's tone was exasperated. How dare you block me? Song Yanbin. Don't tell me you went to look for your poor and ugly fiancé. Shen Qiutang. I said in a cold tone, I won't bother with you if you scold me, but don't blame me for being rude if you speak without restraint to Yao Yao. Song Yanbin. How dare you talk to me like that? Do you believe it or not? I hung up the phone and blocked the number. The daughter of a wealthy family had never been disobeyed before, so she was always unwilling to accept the first time she was rejected. That's why he is so eager to get back his face from me, that he is so eager to contact me. But who is she? In 2 days, I will start a new life with my sweetheart. But unexpectedly, 2 days later, Yao Yao disappeared. 6. I searched the whole city for her but couldn't find any sign of her. He doesn't answer the phone and doesn't reply to text messages. Just when I was frantically mobilizing my brothers to look for someone, I unexpectedly saw a promotional photo of the marriage between the Shen and Song families on the big electronic screen in the city center. In the picture, Shen Qiutang is wearing a long dress and is held by Song Yuenza around the waist. The two are dancing gracefully in the magnificent temple. The graceful dance moves amazed everyone. The daughter of a wealthy family has materialized at this moment. The man is handsome and the woman is beautiful. It turns out that there are no ugly people in rich families. Wow. I looked at Shen Qiutong's smiling face in shock. When can she stand up? It was obvious that she had suffered multiple internal injuries and could only sit in a wheelchair. What's happening now? My phone vibrated. It was a call from my brother. Brother Song. I found my sister-in-law. But my breathing stopped and I immediately rushed to the hospital location my brother sent me. When I arrived at the hospital, the first person I saw was Gu Shuyao, who was unconscious. And the obvious scar on his waist. My sister-in-law lost one of her kidneys. It seems she gave it to someone. My brother looked at me with some pity. Who? I touched Yao Yao's face with trembling hands, but I didn't dare to use force. I was afraid that I would hurt the wound on her face. I don't know. When we arrived, we saw my sister-in-law lying unconscious in the icy water. The brother lowered his head. Yan Bin. Yao Yao's voice was weak, and I leaned over hurriedly. What? Yan Bin. I'm here. Yan Bin. Yao Yao. Brother Song. My brother couldn't help but pull me. Sister-in-law didn't wake up, she just called your name subconsciously, and we found this in her hand. A small red velvet box was handed to me. When I opened it, it turned out to be an electronic watch. And one more note. Last time you said your watch was broken, I picked a new one for you. I calibrated the time myself. I was shocked. A month ago, I casually mentioned that my watch was not keeping accurate, and she still remembers it. My company was only started recently, and we had no money before that. So, this is the gift she bought for me after saving money for a month. Brother Song, someone just sent me a message that my sister-in-law has signed a consent form for organ donation, and the donation is targeted. The brother paused. I became anxious. Who should I donate to? The phone vibrated. I picked up the phone, and Shen Qiutong's voice was full of pride. Song Yanbin, do you miss me? 7. Hearing the arrogance in Shen Qiutong's words, I frowned. You did it. Of course, since you are so disrespectful to me, what's wrong with teaching you a lesson? But your poor and ugly fiancée is not bad. Her kidney is very suitable for me. Shen Qiutong. I felt like my heart was being squeezed and I wanted to eat her alive. But her tone was more provocative. Don't call me that. Are you worthy of calling me by my full name? I'm just teaching you a lesson this time. If you dare to do that to me again, I'll make you pay. Serve me well in the future, remember. After saying that, he hung up the phone. The veins on the back of my hands popped up. How could Yao Yao voluntarily donate her kidney to Shen Qiutong? What she hates most is this young lady who bosses us around. There must be something here that I don't know. I began to frantically search for the latest news about the Song and Shen companies. It turns out that the reason why they were so arrogant was because after the two companies went public together, they attracted a huge investment and started to spend money frantically to swallow up the market. And the market that I am occupying is exactly the blue ocean that I am about to open. Take it back. I clenched my fists tightly. Release the product immediately and squeeze Song and Shen out of the market. In my previous life, they caused my fledgling company to go bankrupt overnight. Now I'm going to take my revenge. 8. I have been starting a business with my brothers, and the Shen family and Song Yuanza don't know about this. To them, I am still a poor boy who does not work every day. But they don't know that my new product can completely take away their market share and make me the industry leader. It's a pity that in my previous life, I was cyberbullied to death the night before the product was released. After my death, my products were taken over by Song Yuanza as a relative, and he made great success with the hard work of my brothers and I. While my fiancée was seeking justice for me, she was framed by the Shen and Song families, and no one collected her body. Once this product was released, it immediately caused a craze in the industry. Investors from the Shen and Song families withdrew their capital overnight, and large amounts of equity were continuously injected into my company. And I also hinted at the business forces affiliated with us to launch a strike against the Song and Shen families. The two companies had made many enemies when they were at their peak, and now that they were in trouble, they began to look for new investments. And I met them again at an investment party. 9. You can't even hold a piece of fruit steadily. Is this how you serve that poor boy at home? When I passed by upstairs, I heard Shen Qiutong scolding from downstairs. He looked down subconsciously, but frowned fiercely. The woman who served Shen Qiutong the dishes was Yao Yao. My phone vibrated immediately, and I hurriedly picked it up. My subordinate's voice on the other end was trembling. "Mr. Song, the wife is missing." I looked downstairs and clenched my phone. Shen Qiutong sat in a high seat, looking at Yao Yao with great displeasure. "Your man owes us so much money, do you think your kidney can pay off all his debts? Stop dreaming. Now if you serve him well, maybe I can give him a discount." Yao Yao gritted her teeth. Her body, which had just recovered, was obviously unable to support the heavy plate. But still tried to put on a smile. "Miss, please be magnanimous, don't make things too difficult for him." I punched the stair railing hard. Now I understand. Why did Yao Yao take the initiative to donate a kidney? And why did he appear here shortly after waking up? It turns out that Shen Qiutong lied to her, and I owed the Shen family a lot of money. The company did experience fatal business problems such as broken capital chain during its early stages. So when faced with Shen Qiutong's threat, she would not doubt it at all. And I definitely won't let her humble herself in front of others. So she chose to hide it from me. You can't even hold the plate. Are you sincere in atonement for him? To use such heavy metal to make a plate, Miss Shen is indeed a noble lady. Hearing my voice, Shen Qiutong was stunned for a moment. Seeing me, she frowned unhappily. Who allowed him in? Is it possible for someone of his caliber to attend this kind of investment party? Give him to me, ah. Bang. A slap hit her hard on the face, knocking her off her seat. Song Yanbin. You dare to hit me. Shen Qiutong had never been treated like this by a man before. Even her own father treated her like the apple of his eye. At this moment, looking at the slap marks on my face in the mirror, I was so angry that my teeth were about to break. Song Yanbin. Get down on your knees. I took Yao Yao's hand and turned to look at her. I will slowly settle this account with you. After saying that, he pulled Yao Yao to leave, but Yao Yao struggled and wanted to let go. Yan Bin, don't worry about it. I know everything about you. Don't worry, I won't let her embarrass you. You go first. As he said this, he was about to push me out. My eyes were sore and I pulled the person over. Fool. How can I owe you any money? It's more like they owe me money. Oh, brother, you are so arrogant. Song Yuanza opened the door, lifted Shen Qiutong up and held her in his arms, looking at me coldly. It's fine if you sneaked into this high-end party, but you even had the nerve to brag about yourself. You're really embarrassing your parents. I raised my eyebrows. How dare you bring up my parents? If nothing unexpected happens, you must have spent all the inheritance your parents left you these days, right? Song Yuanza's breathing stagnated. He thought he hit it well. Both he and Shen Qiutong hit it very well. Although the market has been completely squeezed out by me and my competitors are taking advantage of my misfortune, I still have the demeanor of the pampered young masters and daughters of the past. Perhaps because of this, Yao Yao firmly believed that I owed them money. How can business be smooth sailing? A poor boy like you has never experienced a big project, so of course you don't know the ins and outs. The servants of the Shen family couldn't bear it any longer. Do you know who is the protagonist of this investment party? It's the recently popular President Song. With a background like my daughter and son-in-law, they can get Mr. Song's investment with just one move. By then, the inheritance will just slip through my fingers, and it won't matter if I return it to you. I was stunned. Are they here to see me too? 10. I really did a great job organizing this investment party. I knew what companies had great prospects in my previous life, so when I made money in this life, I started looking for investment targets. Based on the principle of openness, I do not have too many restrictions on participating companies. I didn't expect to include these two. What are you standing there for? Why don't you let her get back to work? She spilled all the fruit. Take the money out of her salary. Hearing Shen Qiutong's bossy voice, Yao Yao hurried to pick up the plate. I grabbed him. You are Mrs. Song, so she should be the one serving you. You. Shen Qiutong raised her eyebrows. Song Yanbin, do you want to go against me? Brother, I want to clarify something. Although your last name is Song, Mr. Song is not on the same level as you. Song Yuanza sneered. To be honest, my last name is Song, so does Mr. Song's wife also belong to me? I narrowed my eyes. Shen Qiutong thought I was backing down and snorted coldly. Leave this woman here, you can go. You can't even protect your own woman, Song Yanbin, you are really a useless poor boy, and you still need a woman to fight for you. You are here to ask Mr. Song to invest in you, right? I pulled Yao Yao forward, grabbed Shen Qiutong, and let Yao Yao sit on it. Shen Qiutong was stunned. Song Yanbin, do you know what you are doing? I held Yao Yao down and prevented her from standing up. Of course, all investment applications from the Song and Shen families will be rejected. At the same time, all business activities of the two families will be banned, and they are not allowed to cooperate for life. 11. Song Yuanza and Shen Qiutong were both stunned. Yao Yao also raised her head. Yan Bin, what are you talking about? I handed over my business card. Let's get to know each other again, Song Yanbin, the president of Song Corporation. When they saw the business card, Shen Qiutong and Song Yuanza both widened their eyes. Song Yuanza tore up the business card directly. How could you be Mr. Song? Where did you get this fake business card? Shen Qiutong also frowned. Song Yanbin, stop pretending. Don't I know what you were like before? A poor boy will always be a poor boy in his life. Do you think you grew up with an elite education like Yuanza? Boss Lin. You are here right now. Please kick this fake out. Shen Qiutong grabbed one of the partners who came running over after hearing the noise. Mr. Lin is the host of this investment evening party. But Mr. Lin just frowned, shook off Shen Qiutong's hand, walked straight to me, and bowed respectfully. Boss Song, it's my fault for letting someone like this in. I'll kick him out right now. What? Shen Qiutong's breathing was unstable, and his chest rose and fell violently. How can you be Mr. Song? You are obviously just my bootlicker. Mr. Lin became impatient. Boss Song has never pursued you, it has always been you who was being sentimental. Do you think that with the Shen family's financial resources, you are worthy of Mr. Song? When had Shen Qiutong ever suffered such an injustice? She pointed at Yao Yao and shouted. If I don't deserve it, how could she? Don't think I don't know. She is an orphan from an orphanage just like Song Yanbin. Bang. I slapped her in the face. She covered her face and looked at me with red eyes. I glanced at her coldly. Kick these two people out and don't allow them to participate in any business activities in the future. When Song Yuanza was held up, he couldn't believe it. Song Yanbin, how could you possibly? I was raised by my parents, and I'm the one who inherited tens of millions of dollars. Who do you think you are to ride on my head? After dealing with these people, I turned around and someone suddenly grabbed my chin. Yao Yao stared at me. Look into my eyes and tell me what's going on. Don't you owe money? I raised my hand with a smile. Didn't I say I was going to give you a big gift? Do you like this villa? Yao Yao opened her eyes wide. Here is the big villa with river view that I bought for her. She once shared with me the places she envied and admired when she first came to this city. Now, I bought it for her. You really are. Her breathing was slightly trembling. I held her face in my hands. How is it? Are you happy? Asshole. Her eyes turned red and she punched me in the heart. I staggered back, a little confused, Yao Yao. But the next second she threw herself into my arms, tears streaming down her face. You must have suffered a lot. My heart sank. I thought she would cheer and be so excited that she would be speechless when she heard about my success. But I never expected that her first reaction was to feel sorry for me. With a wife like this, what more could a husband ask for? 12. The villa was soon transferred to Yao Yao. The business is also on the right track. I originally wanted Yao Yao to be a lady at home. After all, she has suffered a lot having been with me for so many years. From now on, she will no longer be needed to take care of the family, and she can do whatever she wants. Unexpectedly, she had nothing to do at home, so she went to the company to find a job. After searching for a while, she finally found it. She took on all the company's recruitment work. She attracted a steady stream of talent, and the company's market value continued to rise. It was at this time that I received news from Shen Qiutang again. The first thing she said when she called was, "I've called off the engagement." I was a little confused. "Oh." Song Yanbin. Her tone sounded very dissatisfied. "I said I cancelled the engagement, don't you know what that means? What on earth are you going to say? I don't have a fiancé anymore, so you can start playing fair." I was speechless for a moment. Shen Qiutang continued. "I know that your previous actions were all about playing hard to get. To be honest, without my belittling of you, would you be in the position you are today? You have come this far not for me. I admit that I am a little moved by you. From today on, you can come to me and officially pursue me. I will give you this opportunity." I am even more speechless. If nothing unexpected happens, the Shen family has gone bankrupt, right? Shen Qiutang was stunned. "So, now that you don't have the status of a rich lady, you don't have any position or resources. How do you think you are worthy of me?" Song Yanbin knew. She choked. But it seems that after experiencing a period of fragmented life after bankruptcy, he is now willing to be patient. "I'm not worthy, but does your fiancée deserve it? She eats your food and drinks your drinks, but still has no status or resources, and she's not even as pretty as me." Shen Qiutang. I interrupted her. "I like royal sisters, not little women like you, you know. Yao Yao is my type. Cuteness is worthless in front of sexiness." These words were meant to provoke her. Her appearance, which has been praised since she was a child, has always been her core point of confidence. Now that I have ruthlessly destroyed her, she simply cannot accept it. But I didn't give her a chance to refute and continued. "As for my fiancée, she is very capable and deserves the best in the world. I have never become what I am today for you, but for her. I am willing for her to eat and drink from me, but I am not willing to pay a penny for you." Song Yanbin, you. I sneered and hung up the phone. A few days later, I received the news that Song Yuanza had committed suicide by jumping off a building. I am right. He really didn't have much time left. Even if I wasn't there, with the way he squandered his parents' inheritance, sooner or later someone would set him up and exploit him. At that time, with his mentality, it was impossible for him to still be alive in this world. It's a pity that he had squandered all the inheritance left by his parents. There is no more money to bribe the way to the underworld. Although everything is moving in the right direction. But there is one thing I haven't finished yet. Not long after, I found Shen Qiutang. 13. Illegal harvesting of human organs. Do you think signing this will help? I tore up the organ donation consent form. You have to pay back what you owe Yao Yao eventually. The police quickly took Shen Qiutang into custody. I used some tricks to have the kidney that was taken away by Shen Qiutang transplanted back into Yao Yao's body. After a period of rest, Yao Yao quickly recovered. Shen Qiutang was trapped in prison and actually called me. On the other end of the phone, she burst into tears for the first time. "Song Yanbin, you win, you really win. I promise to marry you, okay? Get me out now, this place is completely different from the Shen family's manor. I'm not in good health, and I'll die if I stay here for too long." I sighed. "What were you thinking, calling me? Song Yanbin, stop making trouble." Shen Qiutang cried out. "I was a little too harsh on you in the past, but now I agree to marry you. I can write a letter of guarantee. I'm not lying to you this time. We'll get the certificate if you get me out of here. I swear." "No need, Yao Yao, and I have already received it." She was stunned. Years of a pampered life have made her still firmly believe that she will be the first choice of all men. I thought she would give up, but she continued. "I can be your mistress. I know you can't let me go, I can wait for you to divorce her." Shen Qiutang. I finally couldn't stand it anymore. "I have never liked you, no. Don't you understand? There is only Yao Yao in my life. Who do you think you are? I'm making such a fuss just to get your attention and heart. Don't contact me again." After saying that, he hung up and blocked the person. Shen Qiutang had no other means of contacting the outside world in prison, and from then on, I never suffered any harassment from her again. The next time we heard from her, she committed suicide in prison. The pampered young lady could not accept the disparity between heaven and earth, nor could she live in peace with those vulgar roommates. Instead, she was often beaten by her roommates because of her temper. Finally, late one night, she couldn't bear it anymore and ended her life. When I heard the news, I could only sigh. Her life didn't have to be like this. Even though I don't like her, I won't make things difficult for her. But I have to push myself into a dead end. It's ultimately self-destructive.